Hi, my name is Jonah Bali. I'm currently enrolled in Music 108 at Oregon State University. And I wanted to include this video along with my research paper because I think there's some things that I wrote down that certainly you can get the gist of in what I wrote, but I think the only real way to really communicate some of the ideas I was trying to talk about is actually verbally, right? Just like this. When I started doing my research paper, I chose the second option to decorate my flute with a few different symbols. I did this through wood burning, and before taking on this project, I had never wood burned anything before. I didn't know anything about wood burning, so I just went down to the Home Depot. It's close to where I live, and I just bought a quick little wood burning tool. This was I think it was like $10, very simple. I looked up a few guides just how to get started, but for the most part, I just kind of self-taught myself. The reason I chose the second research option was because I really wanted to put things on my flute that basically demonstrate my history with music. To start, I want to find what music was really important to me or has been important in my life. I didn't have to look very far. I just went over and grabbed this. So this is not, I don't keep liquor in here. This is the box that I keep my vinyl records in. So I'm not someone who I'm not like one of those weirdos who thinks like music just sounds better on vinyl. No, when I listen to music, I use Spotify, I use my phone. We live in the 21st century, that's how it works now. But I kind of have this thing where essentially there's a band that I like a lot, that means a lot to me. I like to give back to them. I do that usually by purchasing the vinyl. To kind of it's kind of just a way to kind of help out with the band. And usually the artwork on them is pretty cool as well. So there was one album that really struck out to me. That was it was the first thing I was like, I have to put something from this on my flute. And that's going to be, set this back down. And that's going to be this album right here. So the band, the band's called Fiddler. Originally they're an LA punk band. I'm from Southern California as well, so it's also an interesting connection there. Yeah, and so this is the band's called Fiddler. This is the first album, also called Fiddler, and it was one of the kind of early punk bands I ever really listened to. Someone told me about them way back when I was in high school, and I kind of this is one of the first vinyls I ever bought as well. And then it's been years and I still listen to this vinyl, to be honest. I don't really listen to the band that much. I just listen to this album specifically. So I wanted to choose a song from this vinyl to put on my flute. And the whole list of songs is back here. Most of them I didn't want to include in a school paper for various reasons, because some of them aren't that appropriate. But I eventually chose this on the song called 5 to 9. So I think it's right there. Because it's a very short song. It's about a minute long. And the song is basically just about you kind of just going through your life. And it's you're choosing to go out in an orthodox way. And it's going to hit you a lot. You can take some punches, but you just kind of got to keep going. So it's they said the meaning behind it was simply just I don't want a 9 to 5, so 5 to 9. It's a simple thing. It's a very simple song. It's one of my favorites in the album. So the first wood burning I did actually, so it's probably it's the roughest, but it also makes sense. So I tried to copy the handwriting from the album as close as I could. I was trying to mimic the way it was written on the album as closely as possible. First I sketched it with a pencil, and then I used the wood burning tip, and then just basically traced what I sketched on, and that's how I got that on. That was the first one I chose. So this was kind of my start into the music I kind of listen to now. The second symbol I chose, which was also a bit of a no-brainer for me, was basically another band. I have two of the vinyls. The only band I actually bought two. I actually bought two of the physical records from, and it's a British heavy metal band called While She Sleeps. And this is a picture example of what one of their albums looked like. And this is just hands down my favorite band. Period. They're just straight down my favorite band. Period. Just I can't. It's so hard for me to describe why I like them so much. Just from a type from the subject matter, the music, to just the heavy riffs, the vocals. I think it's just all amazing. So I was like, no crap, I have to put them on my flute somehow. If I'm talking about music that's important to me, almost like all of the music I've listened to just like 1,000 times, I was like, this is insanely important. And if you notice, they have this symbol they use in like all the artwork, all the album covers, etc. It's a symbol for the band right there. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna put this on my flute. Problem: this is a very complicated image. I could not free draw this by hand. It was I tried and it looked terrible. So I quickly ran out and I got some carbon paper, which is paper that basically when you draw on it, it bleeds through to the other side. And then I printed out the symbol. I printed out this symbol on just like on a printer, on a piece of paper, cut it off, taped it to the carbon paper, taped that whole thing to the flute, traced it then onto the flute, and then wood burned it, which then came out looking something like this. Which the top got messed up a little, but I think overall I'm pretty proud of this, actually. And what I really like about that positioning there is when I'm playing it, I can actually just about see it because it's right on the right side here. So yeah, this was like I said, like it's impossible for me to even think about music I like without this band coming to mind. So it was a no-brainer to put it on my musical instrument if I'm talking about music that's important to me. Okay. Moving on, the last thing I put on actually has nothing to do with my vinyl set, so don't have to worry about that. And it's I'm actually going to show it to you first, because it looks very simple, but there's a lot of meaning behind it. So it's right here. It's the smallest one on here, and it looks like it's just a campfire. That's all it is, because, and the meaning behind it is that, so it comes from a video game that came out only about last year. It's a very recent game, but it's something that the game impacted my life in a crazy way. I'm not going to go into the specifics about the game. Because I want to talk about the music in the game as well. It has a soundtrack that's just amazing, but there's this one song in the game that's called Traveler's Theme. It's basically it's a song that it's a very simple melody. I'll try to play an example of it, and it's made to be played on almost every instrument you can find. It's made to be played like on drums, on a guitar. You can even just whistle it. And in the game, the song's essentially used by the explorers. It's basically if you want to send out a signal like where you are and that you're doing okay, you just play this tune on whatever instrument you have, and then it gets like radioed out and other people can listen into it. It reminded me a lot of the Word Circle flute song that you taught us in class about this song that's basically spread around to all the corners of the globe, and it's like I'm playing it over here, someone's playing it over there, and it's kind of what connects us. It's the same idea behind this song, but it's also something that's designed to be played on every instrument. That way, eventually, when all these people who know the song come together, they can all then play it together around a campfire. And this game was done around a campfire, which is kind of the significance of like this campfire in the game. So I did my best to sketch the campfire from the title screen of the game right there, just to kind of pay homage to that. Yep, and that's how I chose to decorate my flute, my Native American flute from Music 108.